Good afternoon. I'm Dave Thompson. I'm the Education Director here at the Academy of Cleaning Excellence. You know, if you're striving to be progressive and you're looking for knowledge about all things that is positive and advancing healthy best practices, you know what? You've come tune into the right show today. Now, for those of you that heard our message last week and you were tuning in to hear our message in Spanish talking about Prospera, I need to inform you that our guest speaker today, from Prospera got ill and she won't be with us. But as you can see, I have somebody else standing in the way. This is Nellie. She's going to be here with us today to talk to us about what is happening at SCORE and Prospera. And we're going to talk about what entrepreneurs can do looking forward to move on their ideas and their companies and move on forward. So come back after this and we'll talk more about that.
Live from Orlando, Florida, and the ACE Learning Center at Gym Supply, it's Beyond Clean with Dave, a weekly broadcast for professionals in environmental health services around the world. Your host is David Thompson, Director of Education for Gym Supply, and his mantra is, I am a janitor and I save lives. And now let's listen to Beyond Clean with Dave and today's guest at the ACE Learning Center in sunny downtown Orlando.
There's three words which I focus on each and every Friday afternoon. If you've heard this before, listen some more. It's healthy, positive, and proactive. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, on the right-hand side, there's a chat box. You know what? I'd love to have you chat with us during the show. It'd be great to have. Now, as I said before, Nellie here is with me, and we're going to talk about what an entrepreneur needs to know about setting up, running, or even making their business venture profitable. So, welcome Nellie Loudon, I'm sorry. God, I screwed up already to start with.
Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh, well hey, it's a live show, folks. You got it right here. Anyway, Nellie is from Gym Supply, and I think you have a few words to say and get started.
Yes. Si estás con nosotros y esperabas ver a Katia Medina de Prospera, ella, como dijo Dave, está enferma, hoy no puede estar con nosotros, pero sintoniza en nuestro próximo show, lo vamos a estar anunciando cuando ella va a estar con nosotros. And Dave, thank you for having me on the show. My name is Nellie Loudon, and a short bio. I am a previous business owner of a janitorial company, and I owned that company for 10 years. Now I work for about 5 years ago. Let's go back a little bit. About 5 years ago, I decided to sell the company, and now I'm here at Gem Supplies where I do inside sales.
Well, you know, the thing we have in common is we've both done now inside sales, but what we're here to talk about today is we've both been previous owners in the janitorial industry. And I say previous owners because I don't know whether we were successful and got out when we should or what it is.
We were smart?
No, I don't know. We're going to talk about that. Anyway, if you've been down the road or you're thinking about going down the road of being a business owner in the janitorial services business, there's something you need to know. You have different avenues that we didn't have available to us.
That's right.
And these avenues are going to be partners with you. They're going to help you prosper. And that's the whole message of our show today. We want to help you prosper with your business, whether you're just getting started or you've been doing it for a while or you're just thinking about it. Anyway, what we're going to talk about is we've both seen this, we've done this, and these resources are what we're bringing here to the Academy. And we want to develop partnerships, not just with you, but with these organizations that we're going to mention today, because there's a lot of services out there that are here to help us as business owners to move our business forward, not just in the way we did, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but in a professional manner. So let's talk about this a little bit. What is that common thing that you and I both see nowadays with people that come not only to class, but when you're in inside sales, the same thing you get?
Well, you know what, Dave? Working in inside sales has given me the ability to experience calls from individuals that actually don't have the tools that they need to move forward in having a successful business. And when I say that, I get calls, and the questions that they're asking leads me to believe that they're not quite ready, and they're probably doing this because they had a need or because the finances were just not there, maybe lost of a job. And so now they're forced to go into doing something to be productive. And
Well, I had a gentleman in here the other day that he's got a productive career, but he says, I've got a young child, and I've got like 20 years of schooling and college, and I need a second job, and I'm thinking about going into this. You know what? It's not the same thing as what you and I did, grab a mop bucket and a vacuum in the car and go out and do it anymore.
That's right.
I'm not saying you can't do that, but there's no sense of trying to have that second income.
That's
Or
right.
your primary income and do it that way.
That's right, Dave.
Yeah.
And this is what we want to speak about today. The number one question that individuals have is, how do I get started? Where do I start? And Prospera comes into play here. Prospera is a nonprofit organization that helps Hispanic individuals to develop your business, to do planification for your business, or if you have a business, to grow your business. They're in the area of Central Florida, including Kissimmee. On Tuesdays they meet there. And they also meet in Miami, the South area. They meet in the west side in the Tampa area. So they have locations all over Central Florida.
Right, and so this is for our Spanish-speaking audience, the customers
Yes.
that we see. And, the thing is we don't want you to just think that it's just for the Spanish, because on the other side of the fence, if you will, there is SCORE. And I have been a volunteer with SCORE for a number of years, and now I've moved to Florida. I'm going to have to get reacquainted with SCORE here. However, SCORE is working in partnership with the U.S. Small Business Administration. They're a non-for-profit, just like Prospera, but the difference here is the SCORE is nationwide. So if you're listening to this from California,
Right.
there's a SCORE there. Anyway, SCORE is going to help existing businesses or startup businesses. Now, help, support, advice, guidance, these are all the things that we didn't get.
That's right.
We kind of went on our own, but they're available to you. And what SCORE does is they have free mentoring. They have seminars and events, tools and templates. I think this is the thing that we want to work with you now. We want to be a resource for you here at the Academy so that you can come and get this. So, if you're going to start that business and you haven't thought about it, there's certain things that you need to know before you get to operating. Now, if you've been operating for a number of years and you're not quite getting everything that you want and you're looking for some support, well, we definitely have it here. But going beyond just the education and the professional development that we have about how to do and why we're doing it, they're talking about the business. So I think what you talked about there was one question, but I got to feel there's more.
There is more, but right before we go into that second question, I do have to say Prospera, just as SCORE, they're here to help you develop. And we talked about that a little bit, but I want to emphasize, because I know it happened to us, and I know that it's happening out there. I have to emphasize that these organizations are out there to really help you with planification, with really planning your business, with really getting your business going and being able to establish a healthy business. You said you have 3 words.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, beyond clean, healthy.
That's right. So a healthy, organic business that you can actually say 5 years from now, I did this, but I did it with a steady pace, with the knowledge that I need, and that's where I want to get to.
Okay, all right, we'll
Whereas that we Prospera offers you orientations, workshops, and seminars, and all of these things are offered by these organizations for a small fee.
Okay, and so we have a picture up there that we talked about a little bit here, and business planning is really one of the big things. Doesn't matter which organization we're talking about, it's the number one thing both of them talk about.
That's right.
And probably I didn't do.
I didn't either.
Okay, all right. So when you look at business planning here, there's a whole number of little circles around that but goes beyond just a business plan.
Right. Well, because the second most important question is, where do I get my funds? What do I do to be able to establish this business? And I have to tell you, Dave, I'm Hispanic. My last name doesn't match my my background, but I'm Hispanic, and I I encourage the Hispanic community to step out of the box, to really, we get into this comfort zone that we say, well, you know what, I'm okay the way I am now. Prospera will help you work out those questions that you have that you think that are not important. They're just not important because you're on site working, like what happened to us, in the operation, and you know what? What's not seen is like you ignore it because you're not seeing it. You're not actually, like, I'm going to tell you like a few of the instances that examples that I'm trying to get at, and it's that if I don't pay taxes, no one's going to come after me.
Oh, now you had to hit that one. That was my problem. You had to hit my one. I didn't tell you that. All right. So, hey, I live show. I didn't know she was going to do that on me. All right. But this is the thing is this is, it's a business plan. You have to market that. You have to know where you're going. Hey, websites today are one of the big things.
And logos.
Have
you seen the price of
talk
logos?
about our logo. You know how much
my
trouble
gosh.
this logo was?
Logos are very expensive. Well, and then another thing that Prospera offers is the accounting. How to actually handle your.
Well, that's the taxes part. Okay, all right, okay. I knew he was going to hit me on that one. All right. Yeah, my accounting wasn't as good as it should be. That was my downfall. Everybody's got one. But the thing is, what we're saying is if we would have learned these things and we would have been mentored in the right way, these sessions for counseling and business planning,
yes.
Analyzing our client issues, knowing how to manage what we were doing,
That's right.
And then have some strategic decision-making processes.
That's right.
I didn't have that.
Me either.
I don't know if that was the reason I had my accounting issues or not. Anyway, through both of these organizations, there's low-cost seminars, and you know what? Every time that I went to a seminar myself, which I know that I'm the director of education, that doesn't mean that I don't go to them as well. But what I notice is that the conversations that we have with other people, we learned that, as you said, we're not an island.
Right.
There's other people doing exactly
That's
and
right.
experiencing the same thing.
That's right.
So how to build a business plan, how to market what I'm doing, how to control or operate my company profitably. We'll get to that in a minute because I know you're going to go there. I know you. All right. So here at the Academy, one of the things we're trying to do is bridge this need that we see and that we've felt to the clients that we're seeing come in here and put all of this together. We can educate you on all of the things of how to do and why to do for the cleaning business, but they're going to help you with the business management side of it. But I don't think that was our last point.
No, our last point and most important point is to build a successful business. Like I said earlier, a successful business that would last. Not only for today, not only for the moment, but a successful business that would go on. And that you can actually say, hey, you know what? This was worth all of this going into these orientations, these seminars, these workshops. Because you know what happens, Dave? A lot of people say, I need to be hands-on and I can't leave work to go and do this because the management part is not that important. What's important is what's making me money, and it's the operation. No, you're wrong.
It's really interesting you say that because, folks, we all have this, and I know you'll have one too. But, I had my biggest regret when I was a business owner was that I thought, just like you're talking, that my business was everything, and I failed to go with my brother on a tiger cruise from Hawaii to America.
Oh, gosh.
And it was a one-time thing, and I was too busy with my company and my service to do it, and I'll always regret it my entire life because I've never had that opportunity again.
Dave, I have a 22-year-old that I think I missed his 10 most important parts of life. His youth were, gone because I spent so much time engrossed in the operation. And I can't tell you how important it is. In order to be successful, you need to have the knowledge. You need to be able to obtain the knowledge to be able to sustain that business.
That's paramount.
Yes.
Professional development is what we're talking about. You see the picture up there. There's a whole number of different words that are in that picture. We're talking about learning, teaching, leadership, All of these things that, you know
Yes.
what, if I had have known it, I guarantee you, if I'd been having these resources, I would have been taking these mentoring sessions.
Yes.
I would have been on that cruise with my brother.
Well, I tell you what, I think you talked about your weakness a little while ago. I think my weakness was just precisely that, being so engrossed in the business that I actually got sick, because you worry now about when you don't have the knowledge and you don't have the tools that Prospera and SCORE and many other organizations out there offer. What happens is that you take it all upon yourself.
Right.
And now you want to do it all yourself, and you want to kind of,
Well, we make ourselves an
process.
island.
Exactly. We want to process everything. No, there's help out there for you to be able to take you from one step to the other, organically, successfully,
Right.
with knowledge
Right.
that will help you sustain your business for long term.
Well, and I think that's the thing. We're going to be working with these two organizations, and as you said, they're not the only ones, but the ones
Right.
that we're going to be bringing into the academy. We want you to get the information that we didn't have, so
That's
maybe
right.
you won't do the same thing we did. And we're not saying that we weren't successful. And the other thing is if we hadn't been through that, we couldn't be talking with you today from a personal standpoint like we are today. And I think that's what at the academy we're all about. We want to help you move your business forward. That's why we're scheduling this and we're putting this together. Now, I am going to reschedule with Prospera. I do want them on the show because
Yes.
Nellie, you've got a dialogue with her. I want you guys to have that. We're going to do that later this summer. So stay tuned with us because that's going to be an upcoming show for all of our Spanish-speaking audience. It will be in Spanish totally. I'm going to sit back and listen to the two of you.
Okay.
So do you have any closing thoughts for the audience as we leave them for today?
I do. I want to say to you that you're listening this afternoon, I want to say that fear paralyzes you. And a lot of times fear has paralyzed us from growing, from being successful. And so if I leave you with something is that I leave you step out of your box, search for the Prospera, for SCORE, for all of these options that we're giving you. Take the step out, reach out, and really search for what you need to make you successful.
So come to the academy and learn from us.
That's right.
Hey, yeah, if there's anybody to learn from, but somebody's already had the experience. Anyway, we want to thank you for being on the show today, Nellie, and maybe our guest speaker will be with you, and we'll be able to listen to that.
Yes.
All right, so we haven't had any questions on our chat message board today. If you're watching the show in a recorded version and you have a question, put it right underneath the video in the comments section. We watch that all the time. We'll try to answer your question. Hey, I might even get Nellie to answer a question for you. I don't know. Anyway, so if you're thinking about taking a class and you're looking for professional development education, go to the gym website. That is gymsupply.net. Under the education tab, you'll find all of our courses, our locations, and even some testimonials we've just added to that. Anyway, I've got a Facebook page. Like and share that page. It always helps. You know how social media is these days. If you need more information or you want to look for that upcoming show with Nellie later on, go to beyondcleanwithdave.com. Look for any information there. I've even got some archive of some pictures. I've been working on some things you might be interested in. So I wanted to let you know also, next Friday, I want to be talking with Robin. She is a registered nurse. She is going to be talking about fostering healthy, interdepartmental, big word for me, relationships between healthcare teams. Now, you know what? You probably know my stance on that subject if you've heard me before, but I also know that there's a lot of conflict between, departments that don't really work for a common goal when it comes to healthcare. Should be an interesting conversation with Robin. I'm going to be live from Atlanta, Georgia, where I'm going to be at another venue, so we're going to try something new next week. Hope it all works. Anyway, come back and join me. That's going to be next Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. live from Atlanta, not Orlando. I'm Dave Thompson. Keep changing your future. Keep those changes healthy, positive, and proactive. And remember my mantra, I am a janitor and I save lives. Thanks for coming on the show, Nellie.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
See y'all next time.
Bye-bye.
You have been listening to Beyond Clean with Dave and his guest. Sharing what you learn with others is what turns knowledge into professional development. Live classes are hosted each week at one or more of our 4 locations in Central Florida. Remember, janitors save lives. Be sure to put us on your schedule to watch next week as we present another broadcast of Beyond Clean with Dave.